What is up, Cast Crazies? Hey, it's Rick with Cast Cray Outdoors, and we are back at it. Believe it or not, this is the third take with us. We had some technology difficulties, but we're back this time, hopefully for good. We got in the house from the in the house, we got Jay.
Yep.
From FishManTV. We got from the distance Manny with Yak and Crazy there at the bottom, and then we got Matt with Matt's Fishing Mission. Hopefully. Oh, it says best fisherman in the room. My bad. Sorry, Matt.
Yeah. Ooh, no, you did not sneak that in there.
I seen that. And then
that's clever.
Hopefully later we have Joe joining from 50/50 Fishing. He's just getting off a long day, so hopefully he'll join us in here. But nevertheless, what is new? Anything new briefly, guys? Anything going on in the life of the fishermen of Ohio?
Not so much. Just waiting for this weather to break, like we said in the last one. And right now we're in the weird stage where we get a couple days that's prime fishing weather, but the fish just ain't biting because they're just so lethargic from being frozen all year. You know what I mean? So we're just in a weird spot at the moment.
Yep.
Cincinnati is in flood stage. Ohio River is at 56.5. It's usually hanging in the low 40s, so all our tribs are way backed up. I probably think we're about a week out before anything's fishable in the foreseeable future. So yeah, it's a rough go. I might have to find some little ponds or little park lakes and see if I can crank on something.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah, we got like white bass starting to kick up here and walleye starting to kick up on the runs. Hopefully the temperature stays up and not fluctuates like it has been up here in the Northeast, but hopefully we can get the water temps up and then kind of initiate and kick off the walleye run. I'm looking forward to that here in the rivers. But what about you, Manny?
I'm already throwing jigs.
Heck yeah.
I'm dragging jigs
Nice.
Across the bottom of lakes trying to see if I can get one of them lethargic bass.
There you go. There you go.
Right. Busting
it just feels good to get out there and cast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like into some open water.
Dude,
I'd take that over anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I probably
sure.
ripped
Right now.
about 3,000 casts yesterday with jerkbaits and got absolutely nothing. But it was so fun.
Your
It
arm
was
is probably so tired.
Yeah, it's still fun, though. It's still fun. So as many of you know, at least hopefully know by now, I absolutely suck at coming up with topics. So Jay's the man this week, and he got some good topics for us. So what do you got for us, Jay? What are you thinking?
So my first topic that I was thinking about, I got a couple that I was throwing around. And one thing, if you guys follow us on Instagram or YouTube or even TikTok too, we've been kind of sneaking in little bits and pieces of our new line of plastics, and not even just plastics really, but our new line of baits that are slowly going to start rolling out here soon, as soon as the fishing season really kicks off. So
Joe in the house.
Oh, we got 50/50 in here? Is he here?
I think he's
attempting.
I think he. Oh, there. I thought we.
Don't crash, Joe.
Yeah, it ain't that serious.
Joe, I thought you were on the a roller coaster there, dude.
So we're trying to get him in here, but my first topic that I had that I was working on is we've got this new line of baits coming out that we've been slowly rolling in, and so I figured it'd be a good thing to talk about what our game plan is as far as rolling them out, and then what's the goal we seek to achieve with the new line of plastics opposed to the Mark 1 version 1 last line that we done away with. So
Yep.
I think that's a good topic that we can all because we all kind of had an input on, at least for like me and Manny. I know we were around when the whole crawl thing was being talked about in the beginning. We were like, yeah, it'd be cool to have a crawl that's like this, that's like that, and we kind of threw it up, and then you made it happen. So and then now that Matt's here, we've been talking about other stuff that's in the works. So
Swim baits.
exactly, stuff that we've all kind of put our inputs on, which is really cool being a part of it. So as far as the new stuff that we've showed people on social media, what's next and what's the goal for the new line that's coming out?
Yeah, so as I mentioned privately, Joe bopped. He'll be back, folks. He'll be back.
He'll bounce in and
I'm
out,
sure there's some tech. Zoom's been weird lately, so bear with us. But nevertheless, V1s of the line of bass baits were kind of not uber proprietary. So, as many of the hobbyists know out there, you can get a hold of these molds practically on any online resource.
Amazon. I mean,
yeah,
anywhere.
Honestly, anywhere. But you can go to, Angling AI or Do It Molds, and you can get some prefabricated molds that you can modify to make your own. And we did that on the first run, and it worked. It was okay. It got us where we're at now. But I feel like we needed to come out with a better line of proprietary type baits that had our own designs, maybe our own logos, different textures, different features of the bait. And then when you see this whole group of baits, this family of baits, you can identify them as being part of the brand of Cast Cray. And so that's kind of what we did is I would come up with a conceptual idea and then present it to you guys, and we'll continue to do so. And then we come up with some collab ideas on what we'd like to see in this awesome bait. And then we make it happen with engineers and make molds and go from there. And so fast forward, we have 5 of these designs set to launch in spring, as long as we can nail down these molds. As many of you may or may not know, whenever you're bait making, you can't just like dream it and then immediately go to production. It takes a lot of
trial and error.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot of trial and error. Mm-hmm.
Lots of intricacies. Like one little part of the bait just wants to be a butthead and doesn't want to fill right with plastic. And so you have to go back to the kind of the drawing board and re-engineer that mold. And so we've had to do that a couple times. Hoping that we got it nailed down. We get our newest molds back from the shop here next week. And then you guys don't actually know this, but this week we started production on our sticks. And so kind of for lack of better terms, I can't call it a Senko.
Right.
But it's a stick,
Worm,
a stick bait.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah, that's segmented. You can break it off at 4-inch or 3-inch, and it's kind of all in one with a hook slot. So those started production this week. We got good array of colors. It'll hit the site hopefully next week, if not the week after, and we'll start pushing that one heavy.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. I'm looking forward to those
I think what a lot of people don't understand, I mean, maybe if you're not into bait making, is that when you bait make, like you said, you dream it up and you have to make sure it feels right, but also you've got to test it to make sure it looks good, it has good action, it swims right, it doesn't, doesn't go sideways, and there's a lot that goes into that.
That's right. Yep. And a lot of times, we've nailed down a 3D process now. So I've acquired a 3D machine. So now I'm making some prototype molds on 3D. And so we don't have to go back and forth with these high, like very expensive aluminum molds to test one cavity, make sure it works. We're also doing some simulation of like fluidity.
Yeah, there you go. Wow.
It's Friday, y'all. Right. And we'll do some like simulation to see how it actually swims and let the software do the thinking for us. So we can save some of that timing. We're learning a lot in the process, but these first line of baits are coming off pretty sweet. And we've all been kind of teasing the market a little bit with them. And so I'm sure a lot of our viewers here have seen, some of the teases, and it's kind of blowing up. It's been nuts. The response has been overwhelming. So
yeah.
Speaking of overwhelming responses and teasing, Rick, if someone didn't catch last podcast, tell them some of the things that are coming in the future as far as partnerships that you mentioned last podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of in reiteration. So, we have a partnership that we established with Catchco and their mystery tackle box. The retail boxes first, and then the mystery tackle boxes later. Will be in now. Too, I don't even know if you guys know this yet, but we'll be in the panfish in retail, and we discussed those retail outlets, and then we'll be in ice in the actual like home boxes. Nice. So we got another purchase order for that. We're fulfilling all the ice jigs now, but so things are rolling with MTB. We're the building's going. We've secured a concrete contractor, so we got a new pad going in our new production facility. It was the last step of the process. So now all we need is decent weather so they can get going, and then we'll be cooking. Lastly, we also established a relationship with FishBrain, as many of you know. We'll, for sake of conversation, put their logo somewhere on the screen and a link in the description. Check them out for your free 14-day trial. But they're an awesome app. They have a great shop that they've agreed to put us on as a brand and as an endorsed brand. They don't let everybody do that. It was a pretty cool honor for us. So They see what we're doing and they honor it, and they're willing to put us as an authorized like brand for FishBrain. So you'll be able to buy their products, tag us in their app as you're logging your catches and such. So
yeah, that's awesome.
And then we mentioned, another team member, another crew member, 50-50. Joe's trying to join. We may or may not see him this round. If not, we'll get him on next round. But I know he just recently announced the news on his social, so check him out. He's doing big things with his channel too, and we're excited to have him. So nothing but good stuff.
So as far as like, so like you just mentioned, we got some new stick baits coming, which I'm personally like, that's a real big fan of. What made you? Because I know you just mentioned the pinch off points at what'd you say, 3 and 5 inches?
It's a 5-inch bait.
5-inch bait, yeah.
Pinch points at 4 inch,
4
and
inch
then
and 3
3.
inch.
And
So
3 is basically like a nub.
Almost, yeah, right.
Yeah.
So what was your thought behind that? As far as like, how'd you come up with that idea to just pinch them off like that, like so easily? You know what I mean? Because like to the outside looking in, that's a really simple idea. But it's also something that no one's doing. You know what I mean?
Well, they don't do it because it's bad it's bad marketing move.
Right,
So,
when you can sell a nub and sell a stick bait at the same time, right?
So we're hurting ourselves in the long run, I'm sure, to some degree by doing that, because we're not saying, okay, instead of 3 line items that you have to choose from at the store, you only can pick 1 and you get all 3 in one.
Right.
Maybe, I don't know. It's innovative. I just thought it would be creative and new. It's something that's not out there. At least I haven't seen it.
Me neither.
And so
You got a wagon in that warehouse because you a pioneer.
Yeah.
You guys couldn't hear that, but that was a real shot.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, dude. I mean, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I got a sideline question.
Oh, let's hear it.
What's your favorite color when it comes to the nubs line?
It depends.
Fire crawl. That half red, half black.
I need to get some of them. I haven't tried the red. Unfortunately, I'm so against using red. I don't know why. I just don't have luck with red around here. But and then again, in creeks and rivers, though, that's a whole nother ballgame.
I think it was Jimmy Houston back in the day. Oh yeah, there it is, folks. Back in the day, I think it was Jimmy Houston that did an episode on if you're having a hard time getting them bite, either reduce the size of the bait or show them red. And I use that a lot for that reason.
I'm gonna show you my color. Hold on.
He's making his way.
Start on my dog.
All right. Oh, there it is. I was gonna say that. That's kind of my go-to, which is pumpkin slime. It's basically
That is go kill this year.
It's a bleeding pumpkin color on top with the slime time on the bottom.
Yes.
That's the ones I like to use.
Yep.
Those are the money.
Yep. And then I love, if I'm fishing Erie for smallies, I like the Gobi Gangsta.
That's like the gold looking one, right?
Because the smallies up there, they love eating those little goby, fish.
Sure.
Which I learned something. This is completely off tangent here.
Oh.
But did you guys know that gobies are invasive?
Yes.
Dude, I never knew that.
I know old school fishermen that will not throw them back in the water when they hook it to them.
Yeah.
They throw them for the seagulls.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's it. They actually encouraged you to do that because they must do something to the...
They eat a lot of the targeted fish eggs.
Oh.
That makes sense.
That does. Yeah. So, but the gobies up in Lake Erie, at least, that's what inspired the Gobi Gangsta color.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was wondering because I was like, we have so many colors. I was like looking through them. I was like, trying to remember the names to all of them. And I was like, man, like some of these are like so nice looking.
I think I'm good. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There you
go.
I'm clear.
I'm trying to do all this while I'm driving.
Yeah, right.
They're figured out then.
There you go.
All right. Welcome,
What's
Joe.
going on?
I like the hat, brah.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Just got the care package. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we're talking about right now what we were talking
the new plastics and just what we're aiming for next
Color.
year is coming up and what our favorite colors are and
Yeah, Matt just asked or was it Manny? I forget. Jeez. It's a Friday, dude. Manny asked what's our favorite color of the nubs of the basically like our Ned rig. And so we're just discussing that.
Yeah, mine are I gotta look at the colors again. I know what it looks like. I can't remember the names.
Right. Yeah.
Like the
Fusion?
The June bug looking color.
Oh, that's so during the hot I would say during just after spawn into the real warm, I throw next to nothing but June bug.
Really?
Yeah.
On sticks. That's like my favorite color during the majority of the bass season. But
yeah, so like, you know, colors are such a deep. You can spend hours talking about what colors you're supposed to use, just because, you know, everyone has their own preference, and then like even like around me, like certain lakes, it doesn't matter what the clarity of the water is, no matter what time of the year it is. There's one color, like our pumpkin slime works every single time, no matter what the weather is, no matter what, it just works at Nimisila for some reason. So like with colors, to me, I'm gonna take Manny's, where I'm like an old head when it comes to colors. I stick to like whatever color I know works, and I don't stray away from it. But I want to get out of that, so I'm not like strictly using one color all the time. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then like, you know, from there, because to me that makes fishing so complicated when you're like, oh, I got to have 35 different colors in my tackle box, and I got to figure out which one I have to use, on top of figuring out which reel I need to use and which rod I need to use, and, you know, what presentation I need to give. You know what I mean? So in my head, it makes it so much simpler for me to just pick a couple that I like, keep them on board with me just in case, and then kind of go from there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what, Jay? That remind me of another topic I think you had mentioned about rod.
Yeah,
like action.
Right. Yeah. So with that topic, it was more or less. So do you guys think that rod quality is super important? Like, do you guys think it's like as important as like the world makes it seem, or is it more of a gimmick? Like as far as how you can go to a Dick's Sporting Goods or Academy Outdoors, and you can look at a rod that's $300, but then you can look at another rod that's, you know, $55, $80, but aesthetically they look the same. But do you think it really matters as far as when you're actually fishing and using it? Or is it more about comfort?
Sensitivity is like a huge thing, especially if you're finesse fishing.
Sure.
A lot of, like, if you're smallmouth fishing, like in the middle of the winter, and they're just like very light bite, the sensitivity makes like a world of difference.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So so in the sense, when it comes to rod quality, in the sense of sensitivity, as far as, heavy action, medium heavy, ultra light, ultra sensitive, you know what I mean? So that definitely, yeah, I definitely agree with that. That definitely makes a difference. But as far as like, okay, let's make it more simple. As far as price point on a rod, say you have a nice sensitive rod and you're going smallmouth fishing, and you bought this rod from Walmart, and it's a $60 Abu Garcia rod, but yet there's a, what's expensive? There's a St. Croix rod that's $400. Do you think it really makes a difference, or do you think it's more or less just the name you're buying?
There's some good brands out there that are less expensive, but I mean, even like St. Croix has so many different like levels of like price points for their products.
Sure.
So I mean, it just kind of depends. I think for the most part, you notice the difference in the more expensive rods. Some rods you are paying more for the name, but
I think it's super important because you look cool when you have the more expensive rod,
right.
and it diminishes the competition in the tournament environment. I'm just kidding.
Right, yeah, right.
I'm gonna tell you one thing that I found personally, that I thought, like, so this topic we talking about, I thought it was like, we're just paying for names, but I don't think that's the case when it comes to reels.
Oh yeah, reels.
So that's what makes me believe that rods have, especially when you start seeing specific like molded rods. Like, so I got a Skeet Reese rod that's specifically for a fluke. So what science went into that made it for a fluke? I do think to a certain extent, like, rods are getting more specific, especially if you're tournament fishing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess that makes
reels.
sense.
I see the difference in reels. Like I have a Black Max, and then I have Metamium. I can see the difference.
Yeah, that's true. I can agree with that, because I used to be against spending any more than like $70 on a reel, but then last year I ended up buying two that were pretty pricey. Like, I bought a SOX DC, and then I bought a Lewis Carbon Fire, which was like $90 at the time, and I could definitely feel the difference between them and like my cheaper reels. like a notable difference to the point to where like I was like, yeah, I'm probably not going to buy any more cheaper reels unless it's like, you know what I mean, for something else. Like spinning reels are completely different. I don't really care about spinning reels too much because only thing I'm using those for is my Ned rig, which I'm already kind of set up with that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like so yeah, for sure.
For me, it's kind of just like depends. Like if I'm going to be like just pond hopping and hiking around, right now, to be beating the gear up, like I'm going to bring my cheaper stuff. But like if I'm going to be fishing, I'm going to be fishing on a boat, and especially if I'm like I said, if I'm finesse fishing, I'm going to have more expensive gear. I do notice the difference.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm fishing. I'm not because it's trendy, but I hopped into it because it was trendy, and then once I realized how cool like some of the rods really were, I stuck.
Mm-hmm.
I was big on like Berkeley. I think it was the fire sticks or whatever. What were they? Lightning rods. Boom. Thank you.
Lightning rods. Yeah.
So I was big on those for a long time, and then I got into Favorite because it was trendy. Honestly,
sure.
I think I got like an AP Bassin rod first, and because it was trendy, and I liked Alex at the time, and then I still do. So sorry, Alex, I didn't mean that. But nevertheless, I got it, and I'm like, dude, this thing has backbone. This is like unlike any other rod that I've ever purchased at Walmart.
Sure.
And then I ended up getting, a white bird, and then same thing. I mean, it has the whip, it has the feel, its sensitivity is awesome. The strength is there. I mean, it's a light to medium action rod, but I'm catching muskie on it, bending it clear in half.
No problems. You know what I mean?
No. So I think it does. It makes a big difference. Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask Matt, what's his go-to river setup?
Yeah, because I mean,
I always go. See, I'm always cheap on my gear because I am constantly wrecking my stuff. Because 95% of what I do is waiting, and I'm either dunking it. I mean, I've bit the dust so many times and just smashed something or broken a reel, broken a rod. So I don't know. I've used the Shimano Sienna is a good small like finesse. Easy, replaceable. Like if I trash it, I'm not out a bunch of money. It's like $30. I usually go 6 foot rods or under for just creek wading because just small, compact. I can get under trees if I'm hanging out near the bank or trying to, cast under some low hanging branches.
Mm-hmm.
But I am not the guy to go to for opinions on expensive gear because my stuff is super cheap. Because I am really rough on it, and I would be heartbroken if I trashed some $300 rods and $200 reels.
Yeah, that's true. You always see those videos on YouTube where people will go to cast, and they just cast their entire rod into the water with because it gets snagged or something, it flies out of their hand. That's like my worst fear when I'm on my boat. I'm like, one of these days I'm gonna be not paying attention and just toss a $400.
That's my fear on my kayak. I didn't see a couple kayakers do that.
Oh, that's
literally like something. They'd cast and it'd get a quick bird nets that like snap the rod and reel out your hand, and it'd be like a $600 combo off the side of the kayak.
Oh no! Oh, that's terrible. I'd be afraid to throw my body off a kayak. I wouldn't really be too worried about my rod and reel. But so we got the whole rod conversation. So we kind of had mixed feelings then, I guess, between all of us, different opinions. Some people thought rod quality was like a huge, definitely a definite difference. Some people thought, not so much for what I do, which is kind of the beauty of fishing because everyone has an opinion on what is good and what's bad, and you know what I mean. So it's cool to hear other people's opinions on like what's the go-to for certain fishing. Like I said, what works for me isn't going to work for Rick, and what works for Rick isn't going to work for Joe, and so on and so forth. So leading into from that conversation is, so as far as content creation, fishing with what we're doing, where do we see all of our personal channels in 2 years opposed to our Cast Cray affiliation and all of this 2 years from now? You know what I mean? So like, what do you like 2 years from now? Where do you see Cast Cray?
500 million subs, taking over PewDiePie,
right?
And the Japanese channel, I forget what it is.
Right.
Yeah, we're just basically going to take over YouTube.
500 million subs, 2 years. Don't forget it.
Right.
That'd be like the world record.
Yeah, honestly, the end of the day, let's just be honest. We're trying to sell baits
Sure.
that we care about.
Yeah.
And so, this is a business move. So YouTube is honestly, it's a vehicle that we can use to interact with our audiences and ultimately, for me, sell the product that I have a passion for that helps me do what I love better, which is fishing, obviously. So
Right.
So, for Cast Cray, I mean, I'm not so much concerned about subs or numbers
Right.
as much as I am the conversion to dollar of the product.
Well, sure, yeah.
And so, it would be nice to be the next PewDiePie or whatever and make a living on YouTube. Right. I mean, that would be freaking awesome. And I'd love to do that. And I'm going to continue to be consistent with it because, obviously we're doing this here. But ultimately, I get passion in making products and being creative and using that as a vehicle to show the world what we have to offer. So that's my plan for Cast Cray Outdoors, the channel on YouTube, is to use it as a tool to show the products, have some fun, interact,
Sure, yeah.
Show what makes us different. We're not just a bunch of we're not a group of like young kids fresh out of high school that's doing this,
right?
Like our pioneers were, like Google
Sure.
Squad.
Well, sure, yeah.
I mean, they are the ones who
they started it.
Yeah, I mean, we're different in a whole new way.
Yeah.
And that's cool. I think that's cool. So I'm excited to see what's to come.
Yeah, 100%. Joe, what's your plan for 2 years from now for the 50/50 fishing channel?
Well, 2 years from now, I mean, I'd like to be at like 50K.
Oh yeah, for sure. And so what are you at right now? You're at what, 13?
So yeah, 13.3 or something. But my end goal, man. I want my play button. I'm gonna keep grinding out until I get my play button.
There you go.
Heck yeah, dude, for sure.
I wanna get to where I'm not necessarily making a living off of it, but to where it's like profitable enough to where it makes sense. Because I mean, like I'm making a few hundred a month right now off there, but it definitely helps out. But at the same time, the amount of like money and energy that I put into it, like there's really not a return yet. So
no, yeah, for 100%, that makes total sense, 100%. So what about
as far as like the Cast Cray stuff? It's like with all of us working together, it seems kind of like the sky's the limit on this stuff.
Right.
And just the consistency with everything, all of us like just continuing to just hammer out content, just staying at it, continuing to work together is going to help us all grow, and including the brand. So,
yeah, dude. I mean, 100%. Because like the way I when I first met Rick and talked to him and stuff, the way I looked at it was, by yourself, it's hard to grow, like just in general. You know what I mean? So like by yourself, yeah. You're making all these ideas in your head and trying to make them a reality. You know what I'm saying? With every video that you make or film, you're trying to tell a story, especially like the way like I like to film my videos. So like you're trying to tell a story, but you're trying to make it your own. You don't want to. It's so easy to look at the pioneers. We're just calling them the pioneers. It's so easy to look at them and be like, man, it has to be like that, when that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? So to make your own brand on your own channel and your own content and put your spin on it and your personality to where the viewers who watch are falling in love with who you are as an angler and as a person, because you're being your real self, like in your videos. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So with all of us together, filming together and helping each other out, giving each other advice and things like that, that's kind of where like the rubber meets the road as far as growing. Because even the Guggen Squad, like when they started out, they weren't big, you know what I mean? They just did their own thing, and they all got together when they were low with subs and just kind of starting out, kind of like how we are. And then they just kind of helped each other, grow and just get to where they're at now. So I think that's cool. I think this is like the start of something that can be much greater than what they have. You know what I mean? And I say that like with all due respect, of course, because what they have is awesome. But this is the start of something great. And I feel like right now there may not be a ton of people that know what or who the Cast Cray Crew are. But 2 years from now, I feel like people are going to look back and be like, dang, we used to talk to them on Instagram when they were like way down low, just starting out and, this, that, and the other. So for me, my personal channel is to just, I'm with Joe, man, just bang out as much content as I can. And this year, like I said, I had a late start to my channel last year, started it in October when it started getting cold. So, I've been trying to post at least, every so often, but I've been brainstorming all these ideas, waiting for the fishing season to kind of really just get going. And then I'm just going to go as hard as I possibly can and just start banging content out. And then hopefully, like I said, we'll all get together when it gets warmer out and just start banging videos out and just, exposing each other to each other's audiences and just, get on a broader scale. So that's my goal for the 2-year mark. I hope in 2 years, I'm hitting, 10K, 20K, you know what I mean, by then. And maybe even more than that, you know what I mean? So Matt, what about you?
Yeah, you guys said it well. Like, I think there are so few cohesive fishing teams of like 5, 6, 7 guys that, are all kind of going towards one goal of like promoting each other, themselves, a brand. There's so few of that. I think in the fishing YouTube world, you can probably collectively count a handful. So I think it's a really unique thing that we've got going on to be able to be a part of that kind of experience and team. I mean, yeah, it's great. I would love to hit big numbers on, subs and stuff like that. I think what I want to try to focus on in the next 2 years is putting out some like unique content for fishing. Like I want to do like almost like a fake parody newscast, but go over like real world fishing news, stuff that's happening with us, stuff that's happening around the fishing industry and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
You almost have like, like fake characters with like a weatherman or something like that. Yeah. Just something that's funny, quick, give you a laugh, but also kind of introduce you to, the team, the product, stuff like that. And I really want to make more connections within the fishing industry. So I've got some plans to do some teaching kids to fish and also taking veterans or disabled veterans out fishing and get them an experience they may not otherwise have. So those are some things that I really want to do is get more connected to my community, because that ultimately gives you some, a fan base that's loyal to you because you care about them.
No, that's true.
And you care about what you're doing, your brand, your message, what you're using, and then it creates a sense of community. So that's something that I'm looking to do.
What are you thinking, Manny?
I am so like I'm only like 3 months in on like my page, my Instagram, everything. Not 3 months, but like actively, like really like with some traction to it. So I think I jumped out of the gate concerned about like numbers and people's reactions and things like that. Like, how are people responding to me, But having more of a outlook on like exactly where I want to like direct my channel and direct, the person who you see as yakking crazy. I'm excited because I'm about to get into character. Not that I'm not like I was so concerned with like getting the videos out that I was like, you probably didn't see who I really was because I was technical because I'm trying to make sure I think the character when I introduce people to who I really like, and I'm not worried about how the footage comes out. I'm just worried about, did you see the real me?
Sure.
I think that's really what will elevate my page and elevate, what Yakking Crazy is. And then just connecting with the people who take their time to show interest in you. Like I'm big on connecting with people who reach out to you.
Oh yeah.
Whether it's like I think that's
what people want to see.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, like I told Joe, I was talking to him a week or two ago, and I was telling him like, I've reached out to a lot of people, just not even like on a level of like asking them anything, but more or less like, oh yeah, sweet, I loved that video where you caught this fish or whatever, or even commenting on YouTube videos, and like there'll be people with like 15,000 subs, like I mean, like that's a lot, like compared to what we have, some of us, but like. In perspective, that's not that many, you know what I mean? So in my head, like if you're only got 7,000, 15,000, like you should be replying to almost every comment, you know what I mean? I mean, obviously some videos are going to blow up and have a ton, but to the point to where like, if someone's taking the time, like for me, like I don't get like a ridiculous amount of views. I get like 300 to 400 a video or whatever. But if somebody, comments on my video and says, hey, like that was an awesome fish you caught in that ice. Like that was so funny or that was so crazy. Like, to me, that means they took the time out of their day to watch me fish, you know what I mean? Which is ultimately why I post the videos, because I like having people watch me. So then, to me, like that's what makes me want to keep making content, because I'm like, man, this person, like, literally sat down on their phone at their house or at work or whatever and sat there and watched me, like, fish. Like, that's crazy to me, you know what I mean? So I always go out of my way to comment back and be like, oh, I mean, I really appreciate that. Like, that's awesome. Or if they ask a question, make sure I reply back to it. or whatever, until it gets onto a scale to where you obviously can't reply back to every comment. But to me, engaging with your audience is so important. Like there'll be times where I've messaged someone with 13K or 12K or 10K or whatever, and they'll just leave you on red or not even read, just straight up, just like not comment, not reply back to you, not heart your comment, like not anything. You know what I mean? Because they get this like aura about them, like, oh, I've got 13K, like I'm something. You know what I mean? Or whatever the case may be, which to each their own, I guess. You know what I mean? Every channel is different, of course, but it ultimately comes down to who you are as a person. You know what I mean? I feel like, and when you're watching someone on YouTube, you're falling in love with who they are as a person. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, Jay, I don't know what your brand is gonna be, or like what your whatever like you create for Jay for your fishing channel.
Yeah.
But if you know what I mean, ain't your catchphrase.
Oh, you know what I mean? Right.
That is your catchphrase.
Yeah, that, and I say stinking a lot. I'll be like, man, that's stinking crazy. Yeah.
I was just sitting over here like, yeah, I know what you mean.
Right? That's great.
You know what you mean.
That's sweet.
What's the next one, Jay?
So let me check my keynotes here.
Check the notes. Check
the notes. So what's your guys' opinion on the YouTube algorithm as far as the last 3 years? Because I know it's changed, and the new YouTube Shorts feature. So what's your guys' thoughts on that?
I gotta love-hate with the YouTube Shorts. Like it's cool to get a lot of views, but it's like, man, it's a pain to, I don't know, put out something that makes sense and tells a story in 60 seconds. So it's like, I love that it's driving traffic and views, but at the same time, I don't feel like it's, I don't know, satisfying.
Right.
I guess you would say.
I agree with that, because
I don't know. What do you guys feel about it?
I kind of feel like it takes away from like what content creation is. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, I don't think there's anything wrong with YouTube Shorts, but I feel like they should have their own category on YouTube to where like there's specific content. It should be
its own app.
Exactly. Like, yeah, exactly. It should just be its whole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like they're just trying to compete with TikTok and Instagram Reels and things like that. And I feel like it's taken away from people that are really grinding and busting their butt to post really good content on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Informative information too. Like,
yeah, for sure.
That's another avenue I want to explore on my pages. Is like being informative, like not trying to be like a teacher, but like especially like posting videos in my areas. Like when I got on YouTube, I was looking for things that like applied to me that I can learn from. Like I wasn't just on YouTube looking at people fishing. I was like, okay, what can I take from this? What can I learn from this? So like, I mean, everybody can watch somebody catch fish, but like, are you teaching people? Or showing people how you did it? Like that's where I wanted to go with it. You can't do that in a short video.
That's true. No, I completely understand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So,
it's hard to tell a story and get like something that actually draws the viewer in 60 seconds. That it's not just a fish montage. It's actually a short speaking part, some action. It's hard to pack all that into 60 seconds. What were you saying, Joe?
Well, another problem with the shorts is like it's got its own like different algorithm. So it's like. But it's affecting the other one because it's driving your view duration like way down.
Yeah.
Like if you're averaging like 5-6 minutes of video, then you start dropping all these shorts. It's like it's going to cut your view duration like way down, which is going to hurt your channel. So I don't think they got it all hashed out yet. Like you guys were saying, they're just trying to compete with TikTok and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah.
And like the one thing I feel like some of the viewers, because like I posted one short on my channel just to kind of experiment with it. And like overnight, it got like almost 1K views. You know what I mean? Compared to like that's like a ton compared to what my channel normally gets. But
yeah, people got short attention spans,
right? And I gained like I don't know 15 subs from it or whatever. But in my head, I'm like, I just don't know if it was worth it. You know what I mean? Because in my head, I don't really viewership is way more important than subs. To me, like I'd much rather have more views than I do subs. You know what I'm saying? So like,
if you check the analytics too, like it says like all the views are coming from like shorts, so
right?
Like it's like pushing its own algorithm.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
And then like just like on TikTok, I mean, you just gotta think. I mean, I'm sure all of us have TikTok where you're just scrolling, so like you're seeing videos unintentionally. Like as soon as they come up, you watch them. So then you're giving that view, but you're not like it's not the same as somebody like seeing your video, seeing your thumbnail, and being like, oh, what's this video? Let me click on it. You know what I mean?
On your regular videos, do you guys see a difference when you put the hashtags? That you're allowed the 3 hashtags without location.
Well, that's a good question. Because
Yeah,
I don't even use hashtags.
So
For the shorts, I do anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I've
are you
only
familiar with
used
how to do it?
hashtag in
Yeah.
shorts.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So for those that are watching that don't understand that want to create, in the description of YouTube, you can include 3 hashtags, with spaces in between, and as long as you have your location turned off, it'll show up above your title on your video.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just curious. I've been doing that lately. I have not seen much change.
So when I'm uploading my video, when it gives you that option to put the hashtags or whatever, like my first video, I think I put some, but then when you're uploading, it gives you that little message and it tells you like it will not increase, it was not like add anything aesthetically to your video. So at that point, I just didn't even post them. I'm like, what's the point? You know what I mean? Just taking up space on my video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I did the exact same thing, Joe. I did the exact same thing. I saw that same message and I was like, well, I'm not gonna go through all that trouble.
Right, for no reason. What's the point? You know what I'm saying?
What do you think, Joe?
I mean, it's definitely changed. It used to help the videos rank on Google and stuff, but as far as like I think he's talking a little bit about the tags that are in the actual, like the ones you physically tag too, like not just the hashtags. Right?
Yeah.
Well, you're talking about the tags. Okay.
Yeah, tags.
I still do all that because they say it doesn't help as much, but I think it still helps it rank. But I mean, I don't know. The whole algorithm seems like it's almost like a lottery. I know guys that have 100,000 subscribers that are struggling for views, and there's guys with 5,000 subscribers that are getting like hundreds of thousands of views. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And to that, no, I mean, same with Instagram, dude. I used to post just hashtags. I used to post content with just hashtags, and I'd get sometimes 1,000, 2,000, likes.
Oh yeah.
And now I'm doing the same exact thing. I'm doing that. I'm searching I'm using a generator to find the most trendy hashtags. I'm pasting those in, and I'm getting like 20, 30. Sometimes I'll get a couple hundred or something. Yeah.
Well, Instagram's paid to play now. Like Instagram lets you buy an ad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. Almost every platform is doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I've done it. Like I promoted I think I promoted like 3 posts.
No, I was
kidding.
I didn't know what it was. Like I was like, okay, well I spent $15 to see what this
you got
does.
to. Yeah, you got to.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's different than.
That's the name of the game.
You gotta remember, like I'm 36 years, like, and I know that's not old, but like I'm a very old school person. So like Instagram, like the social media side, like I'm gunning for, I want numbers and stuff when it comes to like my social, what is yakking crazy socially, but like I interact with people. Like if I can reach out to you and we can fish, I can have 1 subscriber. If I can reach out to you and link up with you, I'd be happy. Like I want it to go somewhere. Like I want my brand to go somewhere. Like even more so, I like the connection with people is like, that's how I met y'all. Like, I mean, it's.
No, yeah, that makes sense.
Nah. I was just keeping it a buck.
The old head, keeping it a buck. No,
it's 36 wearing on me.
You're right. Yeah, no, yeah, that's how I feel.
How old is everybody? I don't even know.
Well, if Manny hasn't said it again, he's 36.
42.
Dude, man, I thought you were like 30.
Old head.
Yeah.
Matt, you should have told me to shut up earlier.
I'm 36.
Oh, okay. I'm 25.
Hey, 31.
Hey.
I'm like in the middle.
All right, so I'm in the top 3.
Yeah, right. So the last topic I had.
We're a bunch of old dudes, man.
You're right. Yeah, right? Pretty much. Right. We're a couple old dudes going upstream. So
that's the actual, like, I feel like that's a great demographic. Like,
oh yeah,
that's who I reach out to. Like, that's who actually pay attention to what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are the ones who interacting, who may go to Cast Cray and buy some baits and stuff.
Yep.
Sure. No, yeah. When I check my demographic on my analytics on YouTube, it's always between like 17 and 35. which I'm like, that's a good demographic to be in. You know what I mean?
Well, most of the kids don't. They're signing up and pretend they're older anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Right, you're right. That was so they can hit that.
I've been getting more and more kids following me on YouTube, especially locally. And at first, it was like it weirded me out a little bit because like, they'd come up to me and stuff. I'm like, man, people are gonna think I'm like trying to steal their kid or something. but now it's just I don't know. I'm just comfortable with it now. I can sit there and like talk with them and stuff.
Well, now you have the excuse like I'm a YouTuber. Like they just watch me on YouTube. Like I'm not a weirdo. Like I don't have a van. I swear. Like
right.
You know what's funny because the subject is up right now. That thought vaguely crossed my mind when me and Matt was on the three-way. The three-way with Caleb.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, it's two grown men sitting in here on a live
chat with two kids. Yeah. And he's busting out a Cast Cray rap for us. I was like,
yeah.
That kid loves it.
He's a legit fan, though. Like, he's a fan. Like, not a fan, but like, he's a supporter. I won't call him a fan. He's a great supporter.
So by the time this drops, I went ahead and sent him a package of all kinds of good stuff. Sure, so by the time he'll get it before this drops, but so yeah, he's gonna get a bunch of swag and a bunch of baits coming.
He'll be fired up.
What were you saying, Joe?
I cut you off.
Well, perspective is everything. So like to a lot of these kids and stuff, they look at us like we are like, you know, like top dogs, which it's all perspective.
Oh yeah.
So it's just I've gotten more comfortable with it. But there was one time though I was with my buddy and he was trying to give this kid some baits and he was like almost luring him to the car. And I'm like, dude, like this looks wrong. Like don't get out and get the baits, man. I'm like, this looks bad.
Hey man, you want some baits? You want some baits?
Right.
I got some nubs.
I got some.
yeah.
I got this purple party nub. What are you thinking?
You have to edit this out.
Oh, dude, this is not good.
Don't do drugs, kids. The only drug is the tug.
Yeah, there you go.
That is the truth, and that's something. Like that's the one thing I say. Like when I got into that group with Matt and Caleb. Like before, I was having trouble signing in or logging on, and he's like, yakking crazy. You gonna stand me up? Really? So like, as soon as I got in, I had to explain, like, dude, I was having trouble getting in. Like but he was kind of like he was gonna be hurt, like if he sent the request and I didn't like join the live.
Right. That's hilarious.
Any more?
No, that was about it. I think we covered like that and more. So I mean, I think people that are listening and watching or whatever, I think they get the idea of where we want to be, and that we're all not content with where we're at. You know what I mean? And that we're all fired up to get where we want to be. You know what I mean?
And Joe, before we split,
I put you in the hot side, Rick.
Oh yeah, hit me, man, hit me.
We need to have a Cast Cray like a seasoned fish off. Like I ain't gonna say the location. I'll leave that up to you. But we need like an actual like in-person meet and greet, like fish off.
What do you mean, with fans or with us?
No, with us, with all of us, like linking up.
I know where to go.
Here's Joe.
We gotta go. How far is everybody from Middle Harbor?
I don't even know. I never even heard of that.
Me neither, but I'm in.
I'll find it.
Seriously, I don't even care. I'm in. Wherever it is,
How far is everybody from Sandusky?
Like an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hour and a half.
Okay, listen. Then we got to go to Middle Harbor in like May. Well, the bass fishing is outrageous. We got to do kayaks though. It's like the only way you can do it.
I'm in.
Let's do it.
I'm in. I got a kayak for you, Jay.
Sweet.
I'm down.
Look up Middle Harbor.
Okay.
It's between East Harbor and West Harbor. You can't access it by boat.
I'm in.
Nice.
I'm already amped.
It'd be insane. It'd be a great spot to film some crazy stuff because we'll catch so many fish.
Is that that's not the place where you went muskie fishing? Is it where you had to go to drag your kayak down that sketchy looking hill?
What is it?
Is that the place where you had to drag your kayak down that sketchy looking hill? Like you made a couple of videos there.
Sketchy looking hill.
Like
I think what you're talking about is open water, right? You talking about open water, Joe?
It's connected to Erie, but it's like a lagoon pretty much.
Oh, okay.
And it's just stacked full of bass. I don't know what spot you're talking about. I got a lot of spots like that, but no, this one's like you gotta just like park on the side of the road, and you just pull the kayak. I mean, you could get a John boat in there probably, but kayaks are the way to do it.
Sure, yeah.
And it doesn't get that much pressure, man. Not many people know about it. Now, watch this video blow up now. And
I know, right? You just gave it away to everybody.
Right.
They gonna be on Google like he said in between East Harbor.
No. It's Lake X, people. Lake X.
Right, there you go.
Lake X.
Can I get the GPS coordinates, please?
Actually, I did a video with Robert Field there. We went on there blind, and it was insane. I mean, every fish we caught was like 3 to 5 pounds.
Oh my gosh. That's all you have to say to me.
Let's do it.
I'll go swimming.
I'm going to buy a new kayak tomorrow.
From Robert Field from what's his YouTube?
Yeah. It's just I think it's just Robert Field now.
Oh, it's not Yakins Field or something, or
it used to be. His show's called Field Trips now.
That's my guy.
Yeah.
You fished with him?
Fanboy moment.
I fish with him every year, man, like multiple times.
That's funny.
Oh, man, he just blew his top.
I've got some pretty big collabs under my belt, man. I don't know why my channel hasn't.
Yeah, have you not, Manny? Have you not looked at Joe's channel?
Yeah,
dude, he's made
fished with Flair.
Yeah, he's had videos with Flair.
Tell him a little bit about you, Joe. This is kind of your. I mean, not to put you on the spot, dude, but you know, maybe it's kind of like a soft introduction to our audience and the crazies, the cast crazies is what we call them.
Okay, I've been fishing pretty much my entire life. I got like real into kayak fishing about 10 years ago, and then like really start taking kayak fishing serious probably 6 years ago. I was fishing all the tournaments and stuff, and I started creating content for other companies. And I was actually working for New Canoe almost full time doing all their marketing content and all their marketing videos. And I got to a point where I was just like, man, I'm working so hard. I'm fishing less, but I'm working in the fishing industry. So I kind of just decided to like step back and start doing my own thing because I wasn't able to grow my own channels and stuff. And that was about 3 years ago. And since then, I've just been grinding it out, man, just trying to grow my own brand and make my own content. Just had the opportunities to fish with some pretty cool people. I've known Robert since back in the day, since when we first started doing the tournaments and stuff, because he was hosting an event that I fished a lot. And then as far as some of the other guys, like Andrew Flair, I just reached out to, I think it was 2 years ago, and I did a couple collabs with him. And just been trying to grow the channel, man. It's been tough, though. But,
yeah, for sure. Dude, the fishing YouTube world is so saturated. It's hard. It's hard nowadays to make it. You know what I mean?
That's what kills me, man. If I would have started back in like 2012, like when I was starting to take fishing serious, like
right?
I had a show on Roku. I thought that was the way to go, and I was going to get on the Pursuit channel and all this stuff. But I should have been concentrating on YouTube from the beginning. Is what I should have been doing.
Sure. Oh yeah, because I mean that was 9 years ago. You would have been way up there now.
Yep.
Well,
I like the fact that we can learn from each other.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We're not there yet, but we're closer than we were yesterday.
That's for sure.
I'm excited. Right. I'm excited about like the variety of the content now. Like I do understand what you were talking about earlier about having like outlets, like being like involved in a group, but working like on your own like self, but like having like the help and the support of like a group. Like I think that's gonna be epic. Like
what?
You know,
that's what I'm really excited about is because like I've been trying to I had a brand called Catch Fish or Die Trying, and that was when I kind of started out in the beginning. I was trying to get a group of guys together to do what Rick's trying to do here, and I could not find anybody that was like as focused and as like just had the drive that I had, and even had the same level of passion. So it's like getting with all you guys. Like I haven't even like met any of you in person yet, but I can tell you guys have the same drive and passion. So it's just super excited to get this rolling.
Yep.
For sure. Yep. This year's going to be a big year.
Let's do it, y'all.
For sure.
Well, guys, I appreciate you guys joining. Thanks for joining in, Joe. I know you had a long day at work and stuff, and thanks for popping in with us. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Manny. Thanks, Jay, in the house. Thank you all for watching. Don't remember. Dude, it's Friday. Give me a break. Don't remember. Don't forget to be sure to like and subscribe. Make sure that you check out these guys' links in the description below. Please comment. We love to hear that.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
it fuels us. It lets us know what we can do better, how we can improve. Let us know. We love you guys. Stay tuned. Until next time, peace.